Hare Krishna, Sankarshan, Nitai, Prabhu. Are we ready, Prabhu?
Prabhu, yes, Prabhuji, yes. Yeah.
Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today we are very glad and fortunate to have the association of His Grace Sankarshan Nitai Prabhu, who will be sharing the nectar from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 5, chapter number 19, and Shloka number 22. Prabhuji, over to you, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So let me share my screen, Prabhu. Prabhu, let me know if you are able to see it, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, you can see Prabhu.
You are able to see it? Okay, okay. Yeah. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. So thanks for joining today's session. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavat, 5th canto, 19th chapter, 22nd verse. The chapter entitled A Description of the Island of Jambudvipa. किं दुष्करैर्न कृतभिस्तपोव्रतैर्दानादिभिर्वा द्विजयेन फल्गुना न यत्र नारायणपादपङ्कज स्मृतिप्रमुष्टातिशयेन्द्रियोत्सवा किं दुष्करैर्न क्रतुभिस्तपोव्रतैर्दानादिभिर्वा द्विजयेन फल्गुना न यत्र नारायणपादपङ्कज स्मृतिप्रमुष्टातिशयेन्द्रियोत्सवा किं दुष्करैर्न क्रतुभिस्तपोव्रतैर्दानादिभिर्वा द्विजयेन फल्गुना न यत्र नारायणपादपङ्कज स्मृतिप्रमुष्टातिशयेन्द्रियोत्सवा Kim, what is the value? Dushkarai, very difficult to perform. Naha, our Kratubihi, with performances of sacrifice. Tapaha, with austerities. Vratai, vows. Dhanadibihi, with executing charitable activities and so on. Va, or Dujayena, with achieving the heavenly kingdom. Falguna, which is insignificant. Na, no, yatra, where Narayana Pada Pankaja of the lotus feet of Lord Narayana, Smritihi, the remembrance, Pramusta, lost, Atishaya, excessive, Indriya Utsavat, due to material sense gratification. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Prabhu, my voice is audible, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. The demigods continue after performing the very difficult tasks of executing Vedic ritualistic sacrifices, undergoing austerities, observing vows, and giving charity. We have achieved this position as inhabitants of the heavenly planets. But what is the value of this achievement? Here we are certainly engaged in material sense gratification, and therefore we can hardly remember the lotus feet of Lord Narayana. Indeed, because of our excessive sense gratification, we have almost forgotten his lotus feet. Purport. The land of Bharatavarsha is so exalted that by taking birth there, one cannot only attain the heavenly planets but also go directly back home, back to Godhead. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yanti Deva Vrata Devan Pitran Yanti Pitru Vrataha Bhutani Yanti Bhuteja Yanti Madhyajinopima. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. Those who worship ancestors go to the ancestors, and those who worship me will live with me. People in the land of Bharatavarsha generally follow the Vedic principles and consequently perform great sacrifices by which they can be elevated to the heavenly planets. However, what is the use of such great attainments? As stated in Bhagavad Gita 9.21, Kshine punye martyalokam vishanti. After the results of one's sacrifices, charity, and other pious activities expire, one must return to the lower planetary systems and again feel the pangs of birth and death. However, one who becomes Krishna conscious can go back to Krishna. Yanti madhyajinopimam. Therefore, the demigods even regret having been elevated to the higher planetary systems. The denizens of the heavenly planets regret that they could not take full advantage of being born in the land of Bharatavarsha. Instead, they became captivated by a higher standard of sense gratification, and therefore they forgot the lotus feet of Lord Narayana at the time of death. The conclusion is that one who has taken birth in the land of Bharatavarsha must follow the instructions given personally by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yad gatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. One should try to return home back to Godhead, to the Vaikuntha planets, or to the topmost Vaikuntha planet, Goloka Vrindavana, to live eternally in full blissful knowledge in the company of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरद्विषे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्ते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम् Hare Krishna. So, I'd like to welcome all the devotees for today's morning Bhagavatam class. So, I'd like to seek blessings of all the Vaishnavas for this service so that I can do this service for my own purification and to for the pleasure of Vaishnavas, Guru and Krishna. So, here so this chapter entitled the description of the island of Jambudvipa. So we all know right now we are in this Bharata Varsha. If you technically see the in the South Indian Sankalpa, there is a first if before any puja starts. It starts with a sankalpa, right? Means there is a verse like that. Subhabyam Subhe Sobane Muhurte Adya Brahmana Dvitiya Pararthe Shweta Varaha Kalpe Vaivaswata Manvantare Kali Yuge Pradhama Pade Jambu Dvipe Bharata Varshe Bharata Khande. Like that it will comes. Because we are telling that we are at this place situated like that. So right now we are in this place. So if we see the background of this shloka, Sukadeva Goswami is describing about various parts of the Brahmanda. He's actually describing the entire Brahmanda and different parts what is going on. So there are 9 varshas, in this Jambu Dvipa, and he's telling different places. Uh, there are many things that would be happening, because there are a lot of Rajadharma, so many things are happening. But because this Bhagavatam, it is Sukadeva Goswami Maharaj has selected all the essence from the entire creation and from across the universes also. He selects the selective essence and then gives it. So in the different varshas, what's happening? There are many things, but he mainly focuses on the main, the prominent deity in that particular place, and who is worshipping. Just like in the fewer chapters before, we'll see how Prahlad Maharaj is glorifying Lord Narsimhadeva. Correct? The famous shloka, right? What is that? ओम नमो भगवते नरसिंहाय नमस्तेजस्तेजसे आविराविर्भव वज्रनखा वज्रदंष्ट्र कर्माशयं रन्धय रन्धय तमोग्रसग्रस ओम स्वाहा abhayam abhayam atmani bhoishta om kshram like. So he worships the Lord Narsimhadev, and then after that he was describing about how Hanumanji is worshipping Lord Sri Ramachandra in the Kimpurusha Varsha, like. So now in the Bharata Varsha he comes focus on this. So why he describes this? Because the essence of all the scriptures is actually to get jiva connected back to Krishna. Correct. So there are many things that happens in the world, but the most essence is when there is a Krishna katha, when there is a description about the Lord is happening. That is the most important activity in the world. Correct. So the Prabhupada says that the only lack in this world is lack of Krishna consciousness, like that. So he selects those things that's happening in the this one. So coming to the Bharata Varsha, he tells that how Narada Muni is worshipping Naranarayana Rishi in Badrikashram. And then there was a charcha between the devas happening, and that is where we are here in the previous shlokas in this one. See, the devatas, they are discussing among themselves that, how um, although we were born earlier in the Bharata Varsha, but we could not take full advantage of it. Although it is the best place to perform the bhakti. He is. They are telling to such an extent that at one place they told that even if somebody takes a birth in the Brahma Loka for millions and billions of years, that is not in comparison with the short birth that happens in the Bharatavarsha that we are living right now. Because it is all the higher planetary systems. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says if somebody does the pious activities, they go to the higher planets like Urdhvam Gachanti Satvasta, Madhye Tishtanti Rajasa, Jaganna Gunavrittissa, Adho Gachanti Tamasa, he tells, right? So if you go to the higher planetary systems, there is an excessive sense gratification. That is what is mentioned in this verse, right? Atishaya Indriya Utsava. It is very highly, very excessive sense gratification is happening. Correct. So, and if you go to the down planets, there is excessive suffering is there. Like if you see all the Narakaloka and all the lokas and all. So if somebody is in a very high sense gratification, it's very difficult to call out the Lord's holy names and remember the Lord feelingly. At the same time, somebody is in a lot of misery also, it's very difficult. So that is why it has to be a balance of this thing, correct? And Bharata Varsha is such an ideal place that we can have both misery also, and then we can have the enjoyment also balanced, so that we can easily remember Krishna like that. So here you see, here they're telling that Dushkare Kim Dushkare, actually although they have they have taken birth earlier in Bharatavarsha, they were engaged in so much difficult activities like Kratubhi, like so many sacrifices, tapaha, austerities, vrataha, vows, dana, divi, so much of charitable activities, but not for Divya Tapasya. If we remember that famous shloka by Rishabhadeva, he tells this, right? Nayam deho deha bhajan loke kastan kaman arhati vidbhujamye tapo divyam putra kayena sudhyet yasmat brahma saukyam tvanantam. Means when somebody gets a very rare human body, nayam deho deha bhajan ruloke means the human body, because after passing through so many millions and millions of species, one gets a very rare human body in which all the senses are given properly so that they can be engaged in Krishna's service and get the liberation easily, going back to Godhead. But after achieving this human body, if somebody uses this for the same activities which we are doing in the animal life, like eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, advanced eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, then it's a big waste of time. It's a big time we miss the chance actually, like that. Nayam deho deha bhajandraloke kastan kaman arhati vidbhujamye. Tapo arhati vidbhujamye. Vidbhujam means what? Even the hogs and dogs, they were doing the same thing: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Once a dog maybe on the road going to the sleep, and a person in a big skyscraper building on a big mattress going into the sleep. Once they go to the sleep, it's the same only. you know it's the same pleasure only they get, the dog also, the human also. That is why it is said, one should work for the divya tapasya. Tapo divyam putra kayena sattvam. That is why, my dear sons, you do tapasya for the divya, for achieving the supreme Lord. Tapo divyam putra kayena sattva sudhyet yasmat brahma saukyam tvanantam, by which you get a ananta, unlimited happiness of this, of the unlimited happiness that is to be in connection with Krishna. So here they've got this life, but actually they've used it for all these karma kanda activities, so that they've got the heavenly planets. They were in the heavenly. See, in this world people worship devatas, correct? So we all were, before coming to Krishna consciousness also, many of the Indians, they worship devatas for what? For the better standard of living, basically to achieve the heavenly planets. Now we should actually see what. Okay, they've got the heavenly planets. Now what they are doing it actually. So we should really, if somebody want to become a crorepati or something, then we should hear after becoming crorepati, what is his life? Is he really happy like that? All these things we should hear, right? So similarly here, devatas were telling it. We were actually, got this, very elevated life, but the problem is, we could, actually it isn't. It is, see. It is there. If you have read the other parts of the Bhagavatam also, it says that there are 4 lakh human beings, correct, out of 84 lakhs. In that, some are demigods, some are human beings, like that. So the body which we have got is a very low grade body in the sense, in terms of sense gratification. It is, if you see the demigods bodies, they are extremely, in the heavens, there is no old age, there is no disease. They directly take birth and they die, correct? And also, as soon as they take birth, immediately they'll grow up, so that they don't go through all these problems. So it is, all the indriyas, all their senses are extremely powerful. They don't reduce their potency, like they don't wear spectacles, they don't go to knee pains, no hospitals at all, completely no disease and no old age at all. So they are completely well built. For what? Actually, all the indriya, the sense gratification is easily available. Here, if we have to do the sense gratification also, we have to work so hard, to get that sense gratification. I know one of our colleagues, actually he works so hard throughout the year to save some 5-10 lakhs like that. And for 1 or 2 weeks he'll go to Europe every year and then enjoys like that. So throughout the year he works so hard, and he saves that, and then within 1-2 weeks the entire money is gone. Like that. So in this world, even if we have to get the sense gratification, it's a very hard to get that. But in not in the devatas time. Devatas life is basically, it's like a prepaid holiday trip, like that. All they have done everything, and in the heavenly they just have to enjoy. That's it. Everything is available at. So at this time, with so much of sense gratification, is everything is available, it's very difficult to remember the Lord. So that's what they are telling here. Nayatra Narayana Pada Pankaja Smriti Pramushta Atishayendriyotsava, like that. So here, here you can see in the translation they were telling that although we have achieved this position, but what is the value of this? See, does it mean that they are not doing bhakti in the heavenly planets? No, they are doing bhakti. Because in fact, all the people who have done some pious activities only go there. Correct. So they are favorable to Krishna. But the thing is, because of so much of, just like if you say, if you see every day Indra does the yajna and Vamanadev comes and gives the darshan every day, and then they are all bowing down, and Vamanadev hears their prayers and then goes back. Every day they does it. And it's not that they are not doing bhakti, but the thing is the intensity is bhakti. That feeling of complete shelter is actually missing because of the Atishaya Indriya Utsava, like that. Here, so here, that's what they're telling. So here in the purport, if you see, Prabhupada was very much focusing on the Bharata Varsha. How amazing, yeah, how exalted the position of taking birth in the Bharatavarsha. In fact, in the previous shloka, if you see, it was told that whoever takes birth in the Bharatavarsha, either two things would have happened. One thing is they must have done a lot of Sukruti in their previous lives, or Lord would have been sufficiently pleased with them to grant them the birth in the Bharatavarsha. Either two things should have happened. Like, so that's what so that is why it's actually a very encouraging statement, right? It's a uh, uh, very good starting point for any preaching program also. If we if we especially preaching in India and all, it's a very good starting point also, just to encourage the people and open their heart. Oh, we are very fortunate and very this one, like that. So here, if you see in the purport, the land of Bharatavarsha is so exalted that by taking birth there, one cannot only attain heavenly plan. See, why it is very easy uh, uh, to do the bhakti here is because the culture, the everything is there. The people generally they keep their sons or daughters name with the Lord's name, so that they keep calling their name, so that they'll get a lot of sukruti. They'll go to all the holy places, and all the rivers are easily available by taking birth. So the culture of bhakti is very much present in this place, so that although it may appear like a normal life, we still are accruing so much of punya every day, because of taking birth in this very very heavily performed austerities. This land is filled with so much of sages performed tapasya for millions of years. This land is infested with all these vibrations. That is why somebody who has taken this birth is very very fortunate. So that is why even if they are doing a normal life of going taking bath in the Ganga river, taking it appears to be normal, but still they are getting a lot of punya. So obviously they will end up in heavenly planets. And if somebody is very serious, they can surely go back to the spiritual world. Here, one famous Prabhupada's, this is a famous astra. If somebody says that, the famous misconception as such in India, that all the paths lead to the same goal. No. Yanti deva vrata devan pitrun yanti pitravratan bhutani yanti bhuteji yanti madhyajino pimam. If somebody worships devatas, they go to devatas, like that. If somebody worships pitrus, they go to pitrulu. So many organizations, they propagate this. Whatever the path you take, you worship this, any this, you'll go. It all will go to the same path. No, different paths lead to different destinations. Clearly told in Bhagavad Gita. So he gives this example of a train. If I have to go to Chennai, if I take a Delhi train, I will go to Delhi, not Chennai. It is not all the paths lead to the same route, right? So Prabhupada is telling that those who worship the demigods will take birth, and those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. Those who worship ancestors go to ancestor. Those who worship me will live in with me. Krishna many times he clearly says this thing. You will come back to me without fail. Like that. Yanti madhyajino pima. Uh, what is that? Here only Krishna says. Yad gatva nanivartante tadhama paramam mama, like that. Krishna, many places Krishna gives a very affirmative guarantee that, if somebody remembers me at the time of death, they will come back to me, like that. So then here, what is the problem with so much of sense gratification? So much of sense gratification. Actually, we have read. Uh, we have read in other parts of the Bhagavatam also, right? The story of Pururava. No, how Pururava is such a famous king, very celebrated king. Even so much so that the denizens of heaven are always there glorifying Pururava. How he became captivated by the beauty of Urvashi, and he gets into a track of sense enjoyment. Of course, there is a Viraha was there. That one day in a year she will come, and then later he got the association of Urvasi, and after enjoying for many years of life, he finally realized that, this process of sense gratification, that is process of pravritti, uh, it is like a pouring ghee in the fire. It is, if you pour a ghee in the fire, for time being it appears that it is satisfied, but actually it will grow like anything after that. So there is no satisfaction, eternal satisfaction with this process of sense gratification. So eventually one will come to this conclusion. And we have seen Yayati's pastime, and we have seen Sauhari Muni's pastime also. How he offended Garuda, and he got into he was able to perform the tapasya underwater for thousands of years. But because he has seen the two fish mating, he came back and engaged in sense gratification for long time. After that, again he is realizing, and then he is the futility. So Chanakya Pandit says this, right? Ayusha Kshanaye Kopi Nalabhya Swarna Koti Bihi. In human form of life, each moment is an extremely rare. Even if you give millions of gold coins, one cannot get back that one moment, he tells it, right? And the best use of using the moments in human form of life is to remember Krishna, is to be in service of Krishna. And the best, the big miss, the big loss of a moment in a human form of life is not losing the money or not losing anything, but losing the moment not in the remembrance of Krishna. The not remembering Krishna is the biggest loss. It's true, correct. So that is why it is mentioned here that, Bharata Varsha, we have got all the opportunity, correct. So here it is the how this is the best time, although this is very hope giving, right? In other part of the Bhagavatam it says that, kalau dosha nidhe rajan asti eka mahan guna kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sanga param vrajet, correct. Although all the Kali Yuga is generally condemned. Why? Because alpa, what is that? Manda Sumanda Matayo, Manda Bhagyo, Padruta. Kali Yuga is full of faults. It's generally condemned. But the different yugas, those people also glorify Kali Yuga. Why? Because of this one reason. What is that one reason? Kalau dosha nidhi rajan, it is a dosha nidhi, asti eka mahan, but there is one great quality is there. Kirtanadeva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Rajet. Just by chanting the holy names of Krishna, one will be able to liberate himself and go back to Godhead. That which was possible in other yugas for doing so much of tapasya for many thousands of years, which was easily available for Kali Yuga in a very very short term. One can go back to Godhead like that. So that's what Krita Utadhyayato Vishnu Traitaya Yajanti Saha Dwapari Paricharyayam Kalautad Hari Kirtanam. Correct. So that is very important, Kali Yuga. So now we are born in the time at when Lord Krishna personally, he actually comes once in a day of Brahma. Correct. But Brahma's day is how long? So much, I think it is 70 to Divya Yugas or something like that. Very, very long period. In that, Krishna comes once in that, and in the same time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also comes, which 500 years back. Very, very auspicious time that we have taken birth right now. Correct? Very, very glorious period when everything is auspicious and every possibility to perfect the life and go back is everything is available now, because the Kali Yuga is the time when the Harinam Sankirtana is the easiest process that's given. And then what? We have taken birth in the Bharata Varsha. We have seen just now, correct now. So this Varsha is infested with so much of positivity, so much of spiritual, potency, that we have taken birth. Everywhere you look, actually there is a place to be engaged in Krishna service. There are mountains are there. Govardhan mountain is there. Himalayas are there, and there are rivers are there. There are holy dhams are there. Holy deities are there. Holy devotees are there. Everywhere you see there is so much of opportunity to be engaged in Krishna service, to remember Krishna and go back. That is there. So, and then we have got a human body. Correct. After passing through so much of thing, we have got a human body. Prahlad Maharaj says this, right? Durlabham manusham janmam tadapi adhroam ardhadam. This body is very very rare to get. Tadapi adhram, although it is temporary, but it has a lot of meaning, because in the short span, one can actually, perfect his life and go back like that. So we've got a human body, and we have got an access to the message, pure message that is coming from Guru Parampara. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the Guru Parampara. They have given a message as it is. So that is why you can see before Prabhupada comes, there are 700 versions of Bhagavad Gita are there in the West. But what is the use of them? Many of them are in the library catching dust. Correct? Nobody, they're reading it, but there is no transformation at all. But when Prabhupada's, Bhagavad Gita came, it is like a sunlight. As soon as the sunlight comes, all the darkness is gone, right? Similarly, when the Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita came, immediately within 2-3 years, all the Western people, they were wearing saris, they were wearing dhoti kurta, giving up completely all the bad habits, drugs. In fact, the governments are spending billions of dollars to get them out of the drugs, all these things. But they could not. But just this one powerful mantra on which Prabhupada had an intense faith. He chanted in the park, Tompkins Square Park, and then he, with that one mantra, he has transformed their lives like anything. Correct. So, and because he has given a pure message of Bhagavatam, and one time Prabhupada says this. So he asked the disciples, why I have given all the scriptures, why I have taken so much of pain to write all the scriptures for you? Why? They are telling many, many answers. Prabhupada says this: in order to convince you to chant the holy names, in order to convince you that this is not an ordinary mantra, it is the method, it is the life of Kali Yuga, like that he says that. So that is why, the more we read Bhagavatam, the more we hear Bhagavatam, our faith in Krishna will go very, very deep in. Correct. So that is why we should be very very thankful, because Prabhupada has given this pure message. Unless if Prabhupada is not there, then there is so much of confusions. Just like we were discussed, right? All paths go to the same path. Like this, there are so many misconceptions. Prabhupada has cut all the misconceptions. Like a real sadhu, he cut all the misconception and given the pure message. And that too with not only the message, he has given an institution to follow the message. He has given a institution called ISKCON, where whatever we read and hear can be followed instantly. Correct? Pratyaksha avagam dharmyam susukam kartumavyam. You hear it and then you follow it, like that. So he has given a wonderful devotee association. He has given prasadam. He has given all the things together. Correct? And so all the things are there for us. So we just have to follow it very sincerely. One time disciple asked Prabhupada, how can we repay, whatever you have given? He says that just be sincere and then accept whatever I have given, and then just give it to others also, like that. So that is what Prabhupada says. So here the same thing only. At the end, Prabhupada is telling that the conclusion is that one who has taken birth in the land of Bharatavarsha must follow the instructions given personally by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yad gatva nanivartante tadhama paramamama. Means actually this should be the prime responsibility of all the Indians, all the people who are taken birth. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu emphatically says this, right? He says this thing, this verse. Bharata bhumite haila manushya janma yar janma sardhaka kari kara para upakar. One who has taken his birth as a human being in the land of India should make his life successful and work for the benefit of other people. So this is the very, very important thing. Janma Sardhaka Kori Karapara Upakar. So if you see the purport of that, the magnanimity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is expressed in this very important verse. Although he was born in Bengal and Bengalis, therefore have a special duty towards him, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is addressing not only Bengalis, but all the inhabitants of India. It is in the land of India that actual human civilization can be developed. One time one reporter asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, what do you think about the US culture? Prabhupada says that, what culture? What kind of culture are you talking in the US? There is no culture only. He says that the cow is like our mother. You take the milk of a cow and you send to the slaughterhouse. What kind of culture is this? Like that he told. So actual human, the highest human civilization, you can find it in the Bharatavarsha. You can find it in India, and that is where human life is especially meant for God realization, as stated in the Vedanta Sutra. Athato Brahma Jignasa. Anyone who takes birth in the land of India has the special privilege of being able to take advantage of the instruction and guidance of the Vedic civilization. He automatically receives the basic principle of spiritual life for 99% of the Indian people. You see, all the Indian people, they know by default all the basic stories, like Ramayana. They know about Krishna's childhood pastimes. They know about different avatars, Dashavataras. By default, they will be knowing. Why? Because these are the history of India. They've been told. Of course, in these days, people have lost the track, and they were telling all the Superman, Batman, all these things and all. But now slowly it's reviving. With the that Sanatana culture is coming up. Now we have seen that Mahavatar Narsimha also, correct? How people are embracing like anything. That when the correct message is given, people will be dying for to take that message. Like that. So that is there. So here, even simple village farmers and others who are neither educated nor sophisticated believe in the transmigration of soul, believe in past and future lives, believe in God, and naturally want to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead or His representative. You see here, you take a big PhD person and atheistic scientist and tells that there is a soul, he will not be able to understand. Although it is so very easy fact to understand, when the soul leaves, the body is there. Who has passed away? It's so commonsensical, but he is not able to understand that. But here in India, very very easily people are going to get this thing. So these ideas are the natural inheritance of a person born in India. Has many holy places of pilgrimage such as Gaya, Benares, Mathura, Prayag, Vrindavan, Haridwar, Rameshwaram, Jagannath Puri, and still people go there by the hundreds and thousands. Although the present leaders of India are influencing the people not to believe in God, not to believe in a next life, not to believe in a distinction between pious and impious life, and although they are teaching them how to drink wine, eat meat, and become supposedly civilized, people are nevertheless afraid of the four activities of sinful life, namely illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling. And whenever there is a religious festival, they gather together by the thousands. We have actual experience of this. You see, when all the 200, 300 years, so much of invasion happened, all the rulers of the Muslim kings and all the people, they tried to destroy the culture of India. But still you see all this the basic root of the spiritual life people have in their heart, and they cannot give it up actually. Of course, now with so much of influence, now if somebody is very gullible, then they will be going towards it. But otherwise it is actually very very deep rooted in their heart, all these things. Whenever there is a festival, go to the temple, offer obeisances, all these things are there. So we have actual whenever the Krishna conscious movement holds a Sankirtana festival in a big city like Calcutta, Bombay, Madras, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, thousands of people come to hear. Sometimes we speak in English, but even though most people do not understand English, they nevertheless come to hear us. Even when imitation incarnations of Godhead speak, people gather in the thousands. For everyone who is born in the land of India has a natural spiritual inclination and is taught the basic principle of spiritual life. Yeah. So they merely need to be a little more educated in the Vedic principles. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says here, Janma Sardhaka Kori Karapara Upakar. First, we become perfect and then we help others also. It doesn't mean that we become perfect means it takes so much of time and then we preach. No. Prabhupada says that you hear from me two words and then speak the two words to that. Why? Because those two words are perfect. I may not be perfect, but the two words which I'm speaking is actually perfect. Why? Because it is coming from a perfect source. So we need not wait for so many years to become perfect and then we try parallelly we should try to become perfect, but the preaching activity also should go on parallelly, because this is the message is pure. It just like if a father says that this is watermelon, he says that the son watermelon, and the son says that this watermelon, that is perfect only. Although he may not know the spelling of watermelon, he may not know anything, but if we, what is this? It is watermelon. It's correct only. It's perfect. Correct. So similarly, whatever Acharya says, if we just try to repeat it, the same thing, we are perfect. We may have so many, shortcomings, so many difficulties, so many things are happening. But if we are, our intention is perfect. Intention is, what is that? I am here to be a servant of Krishna. I am here to just to please the Vaishnavas and Krishna. With that mode, with that proper intention, if we are actually giving this message, this will impact others. So we, that is the perfection actually. If an Indian is educated in the Vedic principles, he is able to perform the most beneficial welfare activity of the entire world. Correct. So many times Prabhupada says the world is in a big chaos because Indians are not doing their duty properly. The first duty of an Indian is to become aware, become conversant with this knowledge, become experienced with this knowledge, and then give this knowledge to the all the entire world like that. Correct. So if we are not doing this, then there is a big mess in the world. At present, for lack of Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada uses want of, it is similar to as lack of Krishna consciousness or God consciousness. The entire world is in darkness, having been covered by the four principles of sinful life: meat eating, illicit sex, gambling, and intoxication. Therefore, there is a need for vigorous propaganda to educate people to refrain from sinful activities. In one purport, Prabhupada was telling that there is a systematic propaganda is happening to make the people of the world atheistic. There is a so much planning, so much of organizing, so much of funding, so much is happening just to make people atheistic. Why? Because when the people turn to atheistic, they'll become ignorant, they'll become, so then all the products they're producing, tobacco, cigarette, drink, wine and everything can easily be taken to the people like that, correct? When people are in ignorance, you can control them. When people are in enlightenment, you cannot control them actually. So leaders knows this. That is why they intentionally keep the people in ignorant, so that at the end of the fifth year period, they will just give 10,000 rupees to one person and then they'll get the vote because he's an ignorant fool, correct? The people, that is why they organizingly does this, all these propagate this atheism to keep people in ignorance, so that they, whatever they want, they will get out of the people like that. So here Prabhupada is urging that there is a great need for the vigorous propaganda to educate people to refrain from spiritual activity. This will bring peace and prosperity. The rogues, thieves and debauchees will naturally decrease in number, and all of human society will be God conscious. Correct. The practical effect of us preaching the Krishna conscious movement all over the world is that now the most degraded debauchees are becoming most elevated saints. This is the only one Indian's humble service to the world. Haribol! You see, Prabhupada is taking such an humble stand that only one old man can do this much. How much all of your young people can do like that, he tells it. If all Indians had taken to this path as advised by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, India would have given a unique gift to the world, and thus India would have been glorified. So we are really crazy. We think that if we make some another AI app, America is making one chat GPT, China is making one DeepSeek. If only India is making another AI app, India will be glorified. No, India is known for something different. Just like saying that if a Sachin is very good at batting and he's always thinking how to do bowling nicely, it is such a crazy thing, correct? He is good at something, he has to do that. It's like that. India is known for its spirituality. India can be glorified with that if it's properly taken nicely. Not that by making one AI app, competitive AI app, India will be glorified. No, but people are so crazy that they are putting all their endeavors in this making a cheap copy of the Western world, and think that they will be glorified. No, here is telling that India, if all Indians taken this path, then India will be glorified. Now, however, India is known as a poverty-stricken country, and whenever anyone from America or another opulent country goes to India, you see many people living by the footpaths for whom there are not even provisions for 2 meals a day. There are also institutions collecting money from all parts of the world in the name of welfare activities for poverty stricken people. But they are spending it for their own sense of gratification. Now, on the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Krishna consciousness movement has been started, and people are benefiting from this movement. Therefore, it is now the duty of the leading men of India to consider the importance of this movement and train many Indians to go outside of India to preach this cult. Haribol! People will accept it. There will be cooperation among the Indian people and among the other people of the world, and the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will then be fulfilled. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will then be glorified all over the world, and people will naturally be happy, peaceful, and prosperous, not only in this life but also in the next. For as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, anyone who understands Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, will very easily get salvation. What is that? Ja- where Krishna says this thing? Just by understanding Krishna's birth and activity. In fourth chapter it comes, right?
Janma
Janma
karma cha
karma
me
cha
divyam.
me divyam. Correct. Janma karma cha me divyam. Evam yo veti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. So if somebody understands Krishna, why he is doing what he is doing, Krishna, in one purport, Prabhupada writes that so Krishna's activities are so bewildering. He acts like a human, but he is completely of different nature. He is of transcendental nature, correct? Why he is coming and lifting over the hill when he has that ichha shakti? Just by desiring, millions of hills would be floating to the air. But why he has come to lift the Govardhan hill, that is a mystery, because he want to give all the Vraja people, the audience, continuous audience which they were hankering for. And whatever Krishna's each and every activity is very, very deeply studied, understand, and contemplated and relished. So that is why Krishna's nature is complete. That is why he says that avajananti mamudha manushim tanumashrita param bhava majananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. These people, foolish people, they think like I am like one of them, but no, I am from a different nature. Mama Bhuta Maheshwara. I am the controller of all the jivas. I am Param Bhava Majana. They don't know my transcendental nature like that. So that is why every day we should learn something different, something more about Krishna. The same Bhagavad Gita, same verse. If we read tomorrow, we'll get a different understanding. If we read after tomorrow, we'll get a different understanding. Why? Because Krishna, from the as a Chaitya Guru, he inspires, give a different meaning. He inspires from different angle like that, correct? So it is as a duty of all of us to really take to this very sincerely and very seriously, so that we become perfect and we help others to become perfect like that. So here Prabhupada is telling the same thing. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore requests every Indian to become a preacher of his cult to save the world from disastrous confusion. Yeah. So this is so preaching means another we know very famous, preaching means not just speaking also. Preaching is actually a behavior. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that, right? So the whole day you can preach, if required you can speak also sometime like that, right? So it is so one time I was hearing from Radheshyam Prabhu this one. See, there was one program happened, and the first program, first session, and some about 5 6 boys came, and the preacher has given one topic of that. So they were okay. They were they understood that and all. But when they went to the prasadam, there was one muffin kind of thing. Muffin, is one food item that was extremely delicious. That made by one Mataji. It was extremely delicious. So these people, these 5 boys, went to the hostel and they told everyone that you should eat this muffin. Amazing muffin. You should come. All should come. So for the next session, there are 50 boys are there. Correct. So Prabhuji is asking, yes, the preacher has done the preaching, but who has done the more preaching? The more preaching happened because of a wonderful prasadam made by that Mataji, who is not even seen before. Correct. So it is not that preaching means just just speaking and all. Preaching means everything. Preaching means the behavior. Preaching means somehow we should make people comfortable, and they should feel that it is my natural position to connect to Krishna. They should feel that I should actually come close to Krishna. Hare Krishna is so wonderful, so beautiful, so nice. So like this thing, if somebody can make it through any way, just by speaking a nice gesture, nice words, that's a preaching. It is not only the giving Bhagavatam class, big Bhagavatam, but somehow if you can increase the faith of the people to connect to Krishna, that is a preaching through any way. Yena kena prakarena mana Krishna nishevayin, like that. So this is very important for the as an Indians, as a people of Bharata Varsha. The first duty is actually to this take to this message. So I'll conclude here with one question asked by one devotee, to in one class. So this boy was asking, Prabhuji, I see, we say that we have to go back to Godhead and things like that, but what is the problem? What is the hurry? I can go to heavens and then I can aram say enjoy, and then I can again do the bhakti and all. At one time I will go, right? What is the hurry? Like that he's asking. So that preacher was telling that, see, that's good only, that's nice, but the problem is, if you all the whatever you are doing now, you are everyday chanting, you are everyday hearing, you are doing so much of punya, so much of spiritual credits you are accruing for yourself. So sure enough you will land in heavens, there is no doubt at all. But the problem is, once you go to heavens, how much time you spend there? 100 years. That 100 years means, as per the earth calculation, it is 10,000 years. Correct? So 10,000 years you pass, enjoy in heavens like anything. And then you come back to the earth. Kshine punya martya lokam vishanti. Correct? So once you come back, By the time the golden period of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is gone, the 10,000 years is gone, then there is no many devotees. You can see all devotees would be, they would be performing out of fear. The governments will become extremely demoniac and all these things like that. So that time to practice bhakti is very very difficult. Correct. So this is the problem. We may go heavens and come back. This is the problem. That is why one has to be very very serious at this very moment only. Very nice. So he has given one example. Just like if you take a paper and if you take a magnifying glass, you put the magnifying glass like this under the sun, you keep rotating the magnifying glass like this for 100 years, the paper will not burn. Correct. But if you keep the magnifying glass constantly focused for 10 minutes, the paper will burn. Correct. So the focus is very important in spiritual life. Whatever we are doing, we are chanting, we are hearing, but that moment I will have to give up the entire world to be focused in that activity. Yes, we are all working, we are all doing many things, but whatever we are giving 2 3 4 hours and all in a day, those things should be like a golden period. We should not be distracted at all with that thing and all like that. So that is when the focus comes, and then slowly the taste gradually develops like that. So he was telling that this moment is extremely rare moment, and a very golden period is happening. If we don't utilize this right now, then we are at a big miss. We have really missed something like that. So Bhagavatam tells the same thing. Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udarati tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param, like that. Bhagavatam, yeah, this is the verse. Correct. Tivrena, this word Tivrena comes that we should be really doing the bhakti with a lot of intensity and seriousness, and with no ulterior motives. Ulterior motives means what? I do bhakti to get a lot of money, fame, all these things like that. But no, bhakti to be done for the pleasure of Krishna. That is the only intent. Sincere bhakta will be having it. If that intention is perfect, then we will come back. Even though we go off track, we will come back, because the intention is very pure. Krishna sees the intention, bhavagrahi, right? So the intention is pure, we will come back. But if the intention is wrong, then we will get that, we'll get the money, fame and all, we will go away, we'll go off track, and then we'll go away like that, like that. Yeah. Says Prabhu, I think this is what Prabhuji was telling in that thing. Yeah. So I'll conclude here, Prabhuji. So it's already 8:15, 8:30. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, what a wonderful class it was. Really amazing. You shared a lot of points, but what really touched my heart was that, preaching is not just giving, Bhagavatam class, but, you can actually preach to people through your heart, by your behavior, by your service, connecting people. So I just, connect
Connecting.
the word preach means P means, personal, and reach, personally reach out. That is actually preach. So
Correct.
amazing
Yes.
class, Prabhu.
Personally reach out.
Amazing class,
Yeah.
Prabhu. Thank you very much,
Yes.
Prabhu. And I request the devotees to unmute the line, share your comments.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams. Though I missed so much of the class, the last part only shows how great it was. And so many points you told in just the last half, Prabhu. Wonderful class, Prabhu. I'll go through the recording. Prabhu, this
Right.
one, recently something happened. I was telling my friend about this moment. She said, I'm not in a hurry. Just like you said, she said, I'm not in a hurry to go back to Godhead, she said.
Yeah, yeah.
And I knew this 10,000 year golden period, Prabhu, but still, I don't know, I couldn't remember at that time and I felt silent. So, how to prevent these blockages in the thought process and really tell them the real thing, Prabhu? I felt really bad, and till now I couldn't remember that point, Prabhu, till you said.
But till,
So,
yeah, you can tell now, Mata, you can tell now. Well, you can call them up and then you can tell that. This is
yeah,
the
I
last
tell
time.
Prabhu. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
But how to prevent these blockages in the thoughts, Prabhu? Even after reading and listening, such things are happening. So,
yeah, Mata, I think this is the journey we all go through. We hear, because the nature of the material mind is always to be distracted. We hear it and then again we forget it. That is why every day we should be doing it focusedly, Mata. Nityam Bhagavata. That is what it said. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Every day, just like we are eating food. every day. Like that, we have to hear, we have to read, we have to chant, with the focus every day. And we have to intensely pray, Mataji. We have to sincerely pray to Krishna that I want to remember you, I want to do service, I want to do this. Then I think Krishna will. And this will happen when we are associating with very fired up devotees, actually. If somebody is really enjoying bhakti, then if we associate with them, we will also enjoy bhakti, actually.
Can
Okay,
I add
Prabhu.
one point, Prabhuji, on
Yes.
this one? If you don't mind, Prabhu, can I add, Prabhu?
Yes, bro. Yeah, yes, bro, please.
Actually, I see this, from some devotees. The moment, they want to talk about spirituality, or, the moment we want to share some experience or bhakti or preach, I've seen some devotees immediately they pray to Prabhupada and their Guru Maharaj,
Correct.
because
Yes.
I do not want to speak on my own strength. They say that, I saw them many times and I asked them why you are doing like that. They said, moment, I want to share some spiritual knowledge. I take the shelter of Prabhupada and
Correct.
Guru,
Very bold, Prabhu.
so
Thank you
that
so
they can
much.
actually speak through us.
Yes, Prabhu.
That is the mood, Guruji was telling. Couldn't follow, but I keep trying to recollect that, because it's not we who are speaking that time. It is actually we are taking the shelter of Prabhupada and Guru. They will actually, whatever the message has to be delivered to them, they will make us to deliver. So I hear that should be the mood.
Correct. Yeah, yeah. Yes, bro.
Oh,
Thanks,
thank
bro.
you so much, Prabhu. It makes us so humble. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you
Thank
so much. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams to both of you, Prabhu.
you. Dhanavad pranam, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. Thank you for the wonderful class. So many practical points you gave us and made us again and again understand and replenish our knowledge, Prabhu. Because so many factors when we take BV classes, as Mataji said, we forget at that moment. So that time you have to just pray to that Guru Maharaj and then Srila Prabhupada and Gauranga.
Correct.
Definitely it will. But this point, Prabhu, that 10,000 years, that is always pricking in me, Prabhu. So this I have to make this life last. Otherwise, again, I will land up here, and what bad status it will be, our Bhumi. So this factor I always insist and pressurize in my family circle also, so that they will come to devotion and they will start at least chant one round of Hare Krishna. And luckily, my mother, 92 years, she is able to chant in spite of her fracture recently she had, Prabhu. And she reads every day 2 chapters of Bhagavad Gita.
Jai, jai,
And
jai.
that is very. And thanks to my grandfather, who used to read always Bhagavad Gita. I used to go in search of finding out the absolute truth. I went to Brahma Kumari, so many things. Finally, I got the answer in ISKCON, Prabhu.
Oh,
Now
jai.
I
Wonderful.
find so much of peace and associating, and daily Nityam Bhagavata Seva is really purifying me like anything, Prabhu. Thanks for all of
Excellent.
you. Hare Krishna,
Excellent.
Dandavat Pranam.
Very well. Yeah.
Prabhuji, when you are saying about the, how bad the Kali Yuga will be after, golden period, actually the glimpses are started coming up, Prabhu.
Yeah.
I heard
Yeah.
one news. I heard one news, Prabhuji, that in Chennai, one family from other Sampradaya, they were doing Nama Sankirtan at their home. They were doing Harinam
Okay.
Sankirtan in an apartment flat. So with Mridanga, Kartal and all. So the
Huh.
neighborhood person, there are I think 15, 16 families in that. One person went and complained saying that it is disturbing me.
Mm-hmm.
He filed a case in the court. In the court,
Okay.
High Court has
Huh.
given a judgment saying that you cannot, though it is your house, you cannot practice religion like this. It is illegal. Like that, they are giving judgment.
Yo. Uh-huh.
So yes, Prabhu, it is given in High Court judgment. I was really shocked. So if this is a glimpse of what we waiting for us after 10,000
Correct.
years.
Correct. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So in the golden age, if it is happening like that, what to say about after 10,000 years? It is
Correct.
unimaginable.
Correct.
Really,
Yeah.
Prabhu.
Yeah. It's correct, bro. My God.
The High Court judgment, Prabhu. So it is, already people are taking up the role. Atheists are taking up the role. I don't know what will happen.
Prabhu, one message I received in our group, that when they come for census, you please tell that you know Sanskrit. Even if you know two slokas from Bhagavad Gita, you must tell that you know Sanskrit. Otherwise, Persia will come highest, and the funds will be sanctioned by the government to Persian language, and we lose our Sanskrit language. You lose all the books, it seems, Prabhu. So you have to make them aware that they must tell that they know Sanskrit. When the Sanskrit population majority becomes, then we can have our scriptures and other books. Otherwise, other language will take higher post, and then that language will be pampered by the government. That's what I read recently, Prabhu. In the one of the messages was sent in a ICC community. This thing, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Just like what Sankarshan Prabhu said, there was one incident recently, Janmashtami Nagar. We did in a convention hall, marriage hall. One lady at least 4 or 5 times came and complained, saying that you people are creating nuisance, people are making noise. And the manager says that we could do so many marriages, so many other programs, she never comes.
Correct. Yeah, that's right, bro.
She comes and complains. So this is the mentality of our people today.
This is
Prabhu. Any other question from any other devotees? Any reflections? Just to add a word, Prabhuji is amazing preacher. Our Sankarshan Nitai Prabhu is amazing preacher. I have seen Prabhuji, growing up in Brahmachari, our base ashram, and then he's in Grihastha ashram, and he's one of wonderful preacher among our community. And I request Prabhuji to give his association more often, so that we can hear more, enthusiastic and powered up classes like this.
bro, I
It's a humble
sincerely
request to you,
say
Prabhuji.
prayers, bro, prayers and blessings. Just so many of the knowledge is theoretical. So if you pray, I will be practicing nicely and I can serve nicely. Yeah. Yes, bro.
I think if there are no questions, Prabhuji, we can end, Prabhu. Once again, thank you very much, Prabhu.
Great.
We'll end today's class with Vaishnava Pranam.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय।
Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari
गौ
Hari.
प्रेमानंद
Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna
Devotees,
Prabhu,
we'll end the
Pranam
session.
Prabhu.